Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is a very festive time of the year and my name is Courtney-Jai and today I am talking about coming out to your parents. For anybody who's new to the channel, my name is Courtney-Jai. I am bisexual and I came out about 5 years ago. In fact, I made a coming out video if you want to check that out. I've also made a video called 5 Stages of Bisexuality which might help you define if you are bisexual yourself. I suggest you check that out. They'll both be on the screen right now. Other than that, it was a bit of an arduous process. I know exactly how you feel. It took me about 5 years to actually come to terms that I was bisexual, and it took a little bit while longer for me to come out to people. So I know how you're going and I know how you feel, and I just want to help you out this time of year because this is the year of giving, or the season of giving more likely, and I feel like everyone should be happy around Christmas time. As Christmas is a very happy and fun time of the year where everyone is ready to sit down and eat food and open presents and just be with their family and enjoy the experience of Christmas and that magical spirit that comes with it, I think it is the perfect time to come out because a lot of people will be there, they'll have the comfort of their family, and it could be the best Christmas you ever experience. I guess before I give you suggestions on how you should come out, I should say how I came out. So I told my dad face to face. I remember being in a kitchen with him and I went to my dad, I am bisexual. I broke down to tears. I actually wrote it on a whiteboard before I said it because I physically could not say the words, and I understand if anybody gets that. It's like stage fright, but so much worse. Your throat just locks up. So I completely understand that. That's how I told my dad. How I told my mom is I kind of walked into her room at like 1 o'clock in the morning. She was like watching a film in bed and I just basically said, "Mom, I'm bisexual." And she went, "Okay." And I was like, "Is that it? I love you." She's like, "I love you too. Go back to bed." And I was like, "Cool." I went back to bed and I fell asleep, and that's how I told both my parents. It can be a very odd experience because how you expect someone to react and how they actually do react are two different things. So let's talk about some suggestions of how you should come out, or who you should come out to, or ways that you can come out. And I would start off by having someone there for a crutch. That's something I didn't have, and it's something I know I would have appreciated a lot. And that's having someone that you've already told. If you have a best friend or if you have a family member that you told that you're very close to and they're coming to this little get together at Christmas time, then having them is a perfect way to kind of counterbalance how you feel. So you can say it, then you can kind of have them to back you up and defend you if anything goes wrong, but also you can have them to kind of like soothe the situation, saying, "Guys, it's okay, they're cool, they've been like this for a long time." Because a lot of people kind of, the problem what they have is that they see their child as a child, and when it comes to sexuality and all that, they feel like that's an adult thing to do. So they kind of see you as this child. They kind of expect your life to be, you have kids, you get married, you buy a house, you blah blah blah, get a good job, whatever. But when you come out and you say, "Oh, well, maybe I want a boyfriend," that changes a lot of things to them, but it doesn't really change anything. You can still have kids, you can still get married, you can still have that house, you can still have that perfect job. There's no real major changes in your life except for the gender of the person that you're with. Now, ironically, I am a person who's actually better at speaking than I am writing, but when it came to actually saying to someone that I am bisexual, it was a very hard thing for me to do. So one thing what I would recommend is writing a letter or writing a note of some kind. This way you can keep rewriting it and rewriting it and working it into what you want it to be and express every emotion that you feel about this. Because that doesn't always come out in a conversation, and sometimes in a very heated moment or a very emotional moment, you can't really get the words out what you want to say or express yourself the way you want it to be. So writing a letter, you can give that to them, they can see that, they can read through it, they can know exactly how you feel, and then afterwards you can kind of gather your thoughts and take the time to speak to them, which is something what might not happen if you do it in the moment, basically saying it in speech. Now this is a good one for the new era. We all have smartphones these days, we all have cameras, we all want to be YouTubers, so why don't we use that to our advantage? Film a video, express yourself, talk to your family through yourself, and it's the same as writing a letter. You can keep refilming that video over and over again until it expresses exactly how you want it to be, and you can edit how you want to be, you can make it all fancy and full of lights and full of experiences and make it even emotional, add music to it, you know, get that real compelling story going, and then put it out. Say, "Guys, I want you to watch something," and they'll all gather around, they'll all watch it, and afterwards you can basically see how they react. And that might be a way you want to go. It's a lot easier to do that because you can just go, "I put this on and I'm going to sit back and I'm going to wait for the explosions, or I'm going to wait for the nice complimentary comments." Here's a little suggestion which I know a lot of people won't take into consideration, but your parents may be actually a little bit hurt that you tell them last. Now, I know that I was someone who told my parents last because I'm very close to my parents and I didn't want to lose either of them. And I think one of the things what my dad said hurt him the most is that I didn't tell him first. He felt like it's something he could have been told first and he would have been cool with it, but he didn't get that told, and they said that really hurt him. And I didn't realise that it could have such an effect like that on somebody, because it's somebody I love, and sure, like, I'm going through this process in my mind, but sometimes you have to consider the other people that you tout, because it's not always easy for them to absorb that information or in the order that they get that information. Imagine someone who loves you and adores you all their life, and then they find out they're the last person to find out something what's so important to you. So even consider telling your parents first. And the follow-on for that, if you do tell your parents first, they're your parents. Okay, they care and love for you, so they'll tell the whole family. If the family have anything to say, they will whip that ass into shape. Trust me, my mom did it with some of my family members, my dad done it with some of his friends, so you just stick by your parents, because your parents love you, and that's all they want you to be, is happy. This is a cool one for you creative types out there. People who like to draw, people who like to sing, people who like to dance. Put it into your response, basically. Put it into your coming out ceremony. Treat it like it's a show and make it a show, because at the end of the day, it's your show to control, it's your show to tell everybody, and it's your life at the end of the day. Make yourself happy, because at the end of the day, living for other people will only get you so far in life. If you start living for yourself, you're gonna have a much better experience going around that circle, what we call life. And I think that's about it, guys. I think that's all the suggestions I can give you for now. I do hope you have a great Christmas. If you do come out over the Christmas period, please do message me. I would love to hear how it went. And if any of you guys are struggling with it and you're not quite right there, that's fine. You don't have to rush it. It's a thing what you take it step-by-step basis. Now, if you want to get hold of me on any of my social media, you can do. It'll be on the screen right now. I prefer Twitter and Instagram, and I actually prefer Instagram for messaging. Twitter, if you want to get hold of me and get my attention, but Instagram's definitely the one. I have a whole message board which I talk to people. I try to talk to people every single day, and you guys are amazing, and you guys should be absolutely in love with yourselves, because you guys are absolutely beautiful people, and I can't say anything better than that. So I'm going to say love, peace and chicken grease. I hope you have a great Christmas and New Year, and I'll see you next time.